Hello YouTube and welcome back to the Nitro Addiction. So here we have a Jato 3.3. I bought it used off of, I think this was off of Facebook. I have no idea which generation it is, which model. And there's probably some way to tell. I can't tell. If anybody knows, wants to leave a comment, go ahead. So when I got this, basically I got it for my boy for Christmas, and inside the transmission it has the one-way bearing with the two-speed clutch, and so we fired it up and fired up real easy. It runs good. There's still got some pinch in the sleeve, but I was having trouble keeping it to tune. And that reason I didn't realize at that time. So if we can zoom in here and see what I was seeing. So, like right down here where let's see, down here at the bottom, where the carburetor meets the block, I just happened to notice that there was a gap there, and the carburetor was lifting up out of the car. I didn't notice it at first, and then here, zoom out. So I didn't notice it at first, wasn't for sure what the issue was. Just was having trouble keeping it tuned. I don't even know how long it was running like that. It seemed like it was running okay, and then the tune started to go wonky. So sometime we only ran it a couple times. It started doing that. But anyways, another issue we were dealing with was the one-way bearing in here. It was slipping, so you hit that throttle and it would just go wing, real high pitched, and would just sit there and spin. And the engine, when it spins freely, it's hard to stop it. Even if you hit the brake, it doesn't really seem to want to slow it down. But anyways, so a couple weeks back, me and the boy were running this for the first time in literally 3 years. Decided to get it out and see what it would do. After I had gotten this is another one that I completely tore it down all the way. I took every piece off of this car and scrubbed them, cleaned up the electronics, the diff in it. I think I've got 10,000 weight in the diff. I didn't have to replace a whole lot in the beginning, except for this bumper was broke, so I went ahead and got a new bumper for it. What else was it that I replaced? This upper chassis, this part right here was broke, so it had a bunch of flex to it. Of course, the steering servo is mounted in here, and then it wasn't good, so I replaced this upper chassis. But I mean, you have to take everything apart to replace that. Kind of a pain, but I mean, like I said, I had the car in 100 pieces, and so I went ahead and took care of that. So I tried to get that real cheap Traxxas servo. I think it's a 1218 or something. I can't remember. Would not do the brakes for nothing. Just wouldn't do the brakes. Everybody that's had a Jato using that stock servo, they know that stock servo will not mess with the brakes. It sucks. So we'll zoom in here. The Futaba S3003. I don't know the specs on it. It came used with one of the cars that I'd bought, so I've just never looked it up. It's got enough power for what I use it for. In here, I've got the long Traxxas nickel metal hydride battery. I'm assuming it's supposed to be back here. I mean, they give you both options. I didn't like the wire running through here. I like it better here. Everything stays hid. And it's got a nice charging port here, which is good because it's a pain in the butt to get these batteries in and out with all the wire. And that Traxxas battery, I mean, the wire on it, it'll literally reach all the way back here. So I had to wind it all up inside there. But anyways, I think I even had to replace the on-off switch. I can't remember. I did a few things to this car. The stock servo that was in it was just some What's the word I'm looking for? Stock, out the box Traxxas servo. So now I have the waterproof 2075. Kind of hard to see in there. See if I zoom in on it, if I can get in there. But anyways, everybody's seen a waterproof 2075 Traxxas servo. So that's what I'm running inside this car for the steering. Nice and strong. I have absolutely no issues with brakes with this servo. As long as it doesn't go out, I can stop this car. I know there's a lot of people complain about the brakes. That I think it's a 12 or 2018. I think it's 2018. Anyways, I went ahead and did the brake mod because I was dealing with that servo not engaging the brakes properly. And like I said, now this servo, it kicks this thing up as far as it could possibly go, and it will. Like right now, the brakes are kind of locked up, and I'm not even doing anything with it. And when the car is turned on and it's in its neutral position, it spins freely, so nothing's locked up on it. But so anyways, a couple weeks ago, I took this, I got this ready, took it home. Me and the boy were running it, and as long as you didn't just stomp on the throttle, you could get it up to speed and get it to go. And it was shifting into second gear. Not one issue with the carburetor after I reseated it. No issues with the tune. I reset everything back to factory settings. So I think it's 4.5 turns out on this. It's either 4.5, I can't remember. I got the 0.5 millimeter idle gap, and then on the low side, I think on this one it's just flush with that inner. It's so hard to see on here. These Jatos, man, they pack them in tight. So way down in here, is that throttle? I'm sorry, I was gonna say throttle servo. What am I talking about? Is the low side. It's hard to see, but anyways, I reset this back to flush, not with the outside edge of that collar, but with the actual needle housing, like it calls for. And I mean, it's probably rich, but I mean, it was just running good. Didn't have any issues with the tune. The only issue I was having was the transmission was slipping. I knew I needed to get that one-way bearing, but we were just playing around. Inside that 2-speed gear, it's got the 2 pins that are inside the round. Like anybody that's messed with it, it's a round gear, and then it's got like a lip that's like a plastic lip that's so tall, and that clutch sits down inside it. Well, on each side of that clip, there's 2 pins that stick straight up, and when you get it up to speed, that clutch opens up and it kicks one of those pins, and then it kicks in your second speed gear. So all of a sudden it just started, like it quit moving, a little bit of grinding, clicking, and it just wasn't moving. So I knew it had something to do with, I knew I stripped something inside, so it's like, all right, I'll just take it apart and see what it is. I don't know if, I'm trying to remember if that 2-speed gear already had something broke. I seem to remember maybe it had a crack or something. Not 100% sure. But what I found was one of those metal pins, and actually neither one of them were left inside that gear. They were both missing from it. Well, I found one of them inside the transmission. It literally like made a groove right down the center to make it look like 2 separate gears on the diff. The gear that the diff runs, I don't know all the names to all these gears, but the gear that the diff actually spins, it was chewed up. And then there was another gear in there that was chewed up. So I had to replace all 3 of those pieces, clean it out completely. And with that, the diff gear, like it's all one, it's the cup that holds the oil and the planet gears, and then it has like the cap that goes on it. So I had to replace all that. It wasn't real expensive. It was just kind of a pain taking all this completely apart. These are complex, pretty complex transmissions. They're a pain in the butt. yeah, so I basically took it all apart, replaced all those gears, replaced that one-way bearing. I haven't fired it up yet because everybody across the nation knows there's been tons of snow. So I'm hoping this weekend it's going to be decent. I think it's supposed to be up in like the 40s or 50s, something like that. Anyways, so we're going to get it out again and test it out. But as long as that one-way bearing's fixed, and now that that two-speed clutch is in good shape, I shouldn't have any issues, and we should be able to get this thing, do some wheelies. I'm going to try and get some footage of it. We were doing a few wheelies, but we were just doing short little braps with it. Didn't want to go too far because the brakes weren't working like at all, because that old servo, it would barely do anything. So yeah, it's pretty decent car. It's just, after so many years, and like I said, I don't know how old this is, but those one-way bearings, they go out, and then with it doing that, and then the second speed gear having those pins snap on me, it just destroyed the whole transmission. And anyways, so this chassis, like, I didn't realize it at first because I've never had one of these Jatos, but I'm pretty sure that's the original blue, and whoever had it literally painted it like this metallic blue, as you can see. I think you can see it shining in the video. It didn't have any of these scratches in it. I just did this the other day when we was running it. But like you could tell here where they had to grind out a screw, to make it a flathead and to get that out. This is full of paint. You could tell the old scratches. Let's see, the old scratches, like there. You could just tell that it's a different paint. They made it look real nice. When I got it, it was pretty clean. Most of the dirt on this pipe was from somebody else, and I need to do that old crock pot antifreeze deal with all of my pipes and then polish them up. But yeah, pretty good car. These, like, I don't know if you can see the shine on this, but they're kind of hard, and you could just tell that they're old. Excuse me. These were the same way, but after running them on the road and getting some wheel spin on it, it took off that outer layer of sheen, as I would call it. Sorry, I got the hiccups. But so anyways, that's what I've done to this. Replace the servos, replace this top piece, replace this front bumper. I'm gonna get some tires for it, but I figure these things are old. This was caked on gummy stuff from the exhaust, which it didn't have a stinger on it. I had to get a new boot, or whatever you want to call this, rubber gasket. This came with it, so I figured, yeah, why not? I'll go ahead and throw that on there. But yeah, these, I always wanted a Jato, and finally was able to get one. The only thing that doesn't really work on it, this doesn't heat up the glow plug anymore. I don't think it's because this wire's showing. It's still whole. It wasn't grounded out to this. I just think that it's bad. But everything else on it works. I hear people don't like these for the most part anyways. I'm not going to worry about it. It doesn't matter to me either way. It needs a new brake shoe back here, but I'm not gonna worry about it right now. But yeah, like, this servo's pretty strong. It doesn't take much for it to start to grab a hold of that brake. Completely locks it up. So anyways, can't wait to get home. And you guys are probably wondering why I keep saying get home. I travel for work, so I'm always away from home. I'm on about 2.5 hours now, so not so bad. But next time I get home, we'll fire this up with the boy. Poor guy, got it for Christmas a few years back, and it just was never in good enough shape to really run. I knew I needed to fix the transmission and figure out why the tune wasn't working on it. And anyways, now I'm pretty sure everything on it's going to run just fine, and we shouldn't have any more issues with it. Man, that antenna's tight. And sorry, I just keep rambling on about dumb stuff. But anyways, so put this in there. I mean, you know, for being old and used, like, it still had all the good stuff. So other than the front bumper and that top chassis being broke, everything else has been, came in pretty decent shape. So now that I got the, I think eventually I'm gonna have to replace the one-way bearing in here. I do recall it slipping a little, but like I said, a couple weeks ago we had it fired up and didn't really have too many issues with that. So I think it'll get us through maybe this upcoming season. I may have to replace it sometime this summer, but other than that, I don't really have much more with this. I was just putting in the receiver, figured I'd do a video and show you guys what I got going here, and of course ramble, but get in there. Oh, there was one other thing that I wanted to do on camera. So when I did hook this up last time, I had it on this here flash guy, and my channel 1 is making my throttle servo kind of glitchy, and I was worried about it. I thought that I was going to have to replace it. Yeah, so last time I set this up, it was doing this, and I was like, man, it's only on the brake. I don't know why it does that. No matter what car I'm running on it does that. So let's see here. So now I've got Jato on channel 4. There's full throttle. There's brake. And you can see, like, that other servo, I couldn't get it to do this. I don't know if it didn't have full throw to it, or if it was just that weak, but it would not pull that brake or that linkage. But oh, I got you guys all zoomed in. Sorry. So now with that brake on, like, I mean, it's tight. I think it's going to work out just fine. At some point, probably have to replace that brake pad, but yeah, the foot tablets, the brake's kind of slow, but the throttle of it seems to be all right. I think I'm getting full throw on that. Not bad for Traxxas servo. And then failsafe. Oh, failsafe is backwards. So for anybody that doesn't know how to set the failsafe, alright, that's what we need to do. I always get the order of this mixed up, but I think it's turn off the radio, hit that, and it starts flashing with it in there. Turn the radio on. Oops. Let's see, and then now shut it off. I didn't do anything. So it's not really applying the full brake, but if I'm in full throttle, turn it off, I know you can hear it, but you probably can't see it. So full throttle, loose signal, it shuts itself down. It's probably better that way. It just kind of rolls a little bit instead of locking up to where it's gonna flip. I don't know. I'm gonna see if I can apply some brake to that. So if I hold that in, oops, yeah, it's off. Hold the brake, turn it on. Get out of there. Now, turn it off. Ah. So, turn that off. Hold that. Apply the brake. Turn it off. So I guess it's not going to apply full brake, it's just going to go to neutral. Let's see. Hold you in. Starts flashing. Run it. There, it's off. Just hold that in. It flashes. Try it the other way. Pull full throttle. Turn it on. Now when I turn it off, it just goes to neutral, which I guess is fine. Hold that down. It's flashing. Brakes. Turn it on. Anyway, so it's on full throttle, loose signal. Shut it down. That's the important part. It doesn't just keep going, so we'll go with that for now. Alright, so now we can shut that off. Shut that off. Power cord's a little tight. Come on. Yeah, one thing I like about these, let's see if we can, it's got that little external charge port. So anyways, there's the Jato. I don't think I have anything else really to say. In case somebody's wondering what this is for, just didn't want it leaking fuel out. Always try to plug up the exhaust when I'm done running. But anyways, if anybody has any questions or comments, leave them down below. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.